It is 28 and 26. So both captains versus Samwise and Prince of Kabul. They are not favorites to win the tournament, but they're in the running to win the tournament.
Yes.
All right, they're going to use a rehost. Let me get that to you guys. The map is going to be Nepal. Apparently, they didn't want to play Russia and ports versus China and ports versus Russia and China. Yeah, good luck to both teams. Yep. No. Germans and Germans. And for Sam and Kabul, Dutch, Spanish. All right, I would have stuck with their original composition, if you will. Russia and China. I don't feel like they have as much synergy as Portuguese in China. Cascade range, I mean, there's that. They were saying they didn't like the map. That might be the first time we have had a team re-roll because of the map. That's one thing in the rules. I specifically stated that when you use a rehost, it resets all the civilizations and the map. So if you don't like your civs, if you don't like your opponent's civs, if you don't like the map, you can choose to use it. But they decided to use it on the map. A little bit surprising. None of the maps are like, there's options on every map, I'm pretty sure. When I was deciding the maps, I wanted it to be not like super, you only have one strategy that can only work for this map. Cascade Range is probably one of the maps that are most like that. But yeah, that's what they decided to go with. So we'll go with it. I do know that Ironic Virus and I think Axeman both play Germany a lot. Germany is not super strong on EP, and in double Germany, I mean, they could go double barracks. I don't know if Sam and Prince of Kabul are going to put pressure early. You don't have to. In this matchup, Germany is really good in H3, not very good in H2, but Dutch definitely outshines them on Eco. And I would say Spanish is pretty comparable to Germany. So Sam and Kabul could play this a few different ways. They would be able to put pressure H2 if they wanted to. But double Germany, I suppose if they go into H3 and they're not harassed hard, then they could do a lot. I would say that Sam and Prince should get some units out early to deal with double Ulan cards from the cards at least. I mean, at the very least, they're going to deal with 4 Ulan rating from the first card that's sent in H2. So, I don't know what they're going to go with. I'm guessing that Ironic Virus and Axemen are both adjusting their deck so they don't have multiples team cards the same. Yeah, there are options here. I would say Ironic and Virus and Axemen don't want to get stuck in H2 fighting versus Dutch and Spanish. But to be honest, if Dutch and Spanish were to rush hard, that might play into their strategy a little bit, right? Play into their win conditions a little bit, due to Germany having a strong eco at the start, just due to the Team 2 Settler Wagons in H1 and just the 2 Settler Wagons in H1 and the 3 Settler Wagons in H2. That will allow them to have a really good eco without investing anything into it. Really good eco early. So we're getting into it. This is hopefully the last game of playing matches. If it goes 5-0, which it could, then we may have some tiebreakers or have to decide who's the last team to get into the quarterfinals. Yeah, so it is Prince of Kabul and Samwise 12 versus Ironic Virus and Axemen. The civs are Germany and Germany for Ironic Virus and Axemen in teal and blue. And then Spanish and Dutch for Prince of Kabul and Samwise in orange and yellow. So a little bit of color coordination. Yellow and orange pretty close together. Blue and teal pretty close together. The map is Nepal. This map, you start with a couple hunts. Let me just confirm real quick that the map generation is fair enough. Yeah, it's fair enough. This map tends to have pretty fair generations. So you basically start with cliffs. There's a lot of cliffs on this map, but there's a lot of them, but they're spread out. They're not they're small. Each one is small, but you are able to wall a little bit early on, just a few walls, and you could even team wall a little bit between the players, and you would have a pretty safe map. When it comes to the map itself, most of the map resources tend to be a little bit towards the left here. You see gold mines on the far left, 2 gold mines, and there's treasures, there's the trade route, there's 4 TPs on the trade route, and the natives are Bhakti. The Tiger Claws are pretty decent. Additionally, you do have an upgrade in there that makes you gather from berry bushes 40% faster, which is an option. It's not, on this map, it's not a huge deal. There's only 8 berry bushes on each side, team side. So yeah, we're getting into it. We'll take a look at the decks as they have got, most of the players have picked them. Alright, so it looks like Rod's out from Prince of Kabul. Rod's cards, at least. Also has the cap cards. So this is a pretty safe deck. You have 3 bills, 5 bills. It's not heavy into eco. He has 700 wood, 700 coin. Not having into crates. Does have heavy into military upgrades, but I'm guessing he's probably only going to choose one route to go. Either it's going to be cab or rods. And then he, of course, has unction. He has a couple shipments in age 3. It is a pretty just like generic deck that allows you to respond to anything. So he's not, I don't think he's necessarily choosing a strategy right off the bat. Looking at Dutch's deck, he's got 3 bills, both 700 wood, 600 wood, and bank wagon, as is expected for Dutch. Has 700 coin, 8 pikes, 3 hussar, has all the military shipments for H2, has the upgrades for his infantry line and upgrades for his cavalry. Doesn't have 2 heavy cannon, but that's fine. In age 4 as Dutch, you have a lot of shipments you want to send already. Let's look at the Germany decks now. Alright, so... Alright, lots of military shipments. They both have 700 wood, 700 coin, 600 wood in addition for Axemen here. Lots of military shipments. I think those are some pretty decent decks. Decent decks from all players, as is expected with a PR of them. So, looking good. Have a vote in for the last quarterfinal team. I'm not sure who it's going to be, Keister. I will, if this goes 5-0, I'll talk with all of the teams. It's possible that I don't think I'm going to include the teams that forfeited some of their games in the running for the last spot. I don't think that would be respectful to all the other players. So there would be, in that case, I believe there would be 5 teams left that had a 0 win record. And I'll talk with them. They might just let JAILEDaoe and Soldier take it, because it's a fair guess that if there was a match between all of them, that JAILEDaoe and Soldier would probably take it. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, so looking around the map, we do see that the Germans have picked up 2 TPs, and Spanish has picked up 1. As is kind of expected from all the players, Dutch usually is not going to do that. It is 5 minutes into the game. We'll try to see what the players are going for now. Spanish has not. Spanish has built a barracks. Looking at the Germans. Thanks for the raiding party, right? Appreciate it. Looking at the German players, we do see a stable coming out from Ironic. Couple pillars of wall just for vision. Something you can do, as that is a possibility, and it costs the same amount of wood, is to make a wide wall segment, and it gives you more vision, still costing the same amount, 5 wood. Do see some Ulan coming in for raids here. A treasure being picked up with the Ulans from Axemen. We'll see if these Ulan can get into anywhere. Really good building placements out from Samwise there. That's going to basically just afford him a little bit more safety. Does have a stable out from him, so it's looking like some rods. If I had to guess, it'd be something like a semi-FF Hope out from Prince of Kabul and Samwise. And the Ulan come back due to that that pet being killed. So yeah, this matchup, Germans versus Spanish and Dutch. I think I don't know who I give the edge to. Probably Dutch and Spanish at this point, due to Germans, due to it not being. I don't know. To be honest, both Germans are able to do a lot early. Here, hold on just a sec. Let me mute the music. I forgot to do that. Yeah, due to the Germans, they're not doing a whole lot early, not getting a lot of raids in, but they are able to get, they are able to FF, which is definitely a good option for Germans. So let's see what they do. The shuttle wagons come out here. I think we may have one going down. No, the skirms come out. Very nice. All right, so FF out from Germany, and the other Germans is up too. So a little bit of a semi-FF. They built a stable just to make sure that they would be safe. Double FF, it can be very risky if you don't know what your opponent is doing. And they kind of figured out what their opponent was doing. Not a heavy rush coming in, and so they do get an FF out. Looking at Prince of Kabul and Samwise. Samwise is on 4 banks. Has not made a 5th yet. And it doesn't look like he will be doing so. Oh no, he has made a 5th. Sorry, my bad. The shadow is covering up that one. So 5 banks out from him. So looking really good. He'll age up in just a moment. Prince of Kabul will age up in just a moment. So there's a nice timing window here for Ironics and Axemen. I'm not sure what they're going to do with it. It is a barracks out from Axemen and stable out from Ironic Virus. Thanks for the Happy Father's Day. Appreciate it, guys. Cat versus Major General Brigadier. Yep. It is fairly one-sided. Yeah. Team Inquisition. No, they do have Team Inquisition. Team Inquisition. When you get to less players, it's not as good. So in 3v3, 4v4, I think it's an amazing card. Plus 10 line of sight just gives you an advantage. It gives you that much more of an advantage when it comes to all fights and taking what fights you want. It also helps defend from raids, helps you raid. It just does a lot, actually. But when it comes to 1v1, it's basically useless. It's definitely not a card that you're going to want to be sending. In 2v2, it's debatable. I would tend towards it being less useful than it is useful, but it is sent early, as you saw. Second card. I would have preferred to see something like Eco Theory second card, but I like sending it in 3v3 and 4v4, but I usually send it as my 4th card or so. 4th, 5th, something like that. Looking at the builds OP. Yeah, we'll see what they do. I do like the choices out from Axemen and Ironic Virus. I don't know if they're gonna do a whole lot here. I will say that Ironic Virus has been really. He's had really good showings in the past tournaments. In the first tournament, the 2v2 Loyal tournament, 3v3 Loyal tournament, Ironic Virus made it all the way to the finals. In the 2v2, in the 3v3 jail tournament, Axemen made it all the way to the finals, I believe, with Haza. Ironic Virus, I believe, also made it to the finals with him too. So Ironic Virus and Axemen, I believe, I could be wrong on this, but I believe they were all in the finals for the 3v3 jail tournament. So they have good showings in tournaments. They're not new to tournament matches, so we'll see what they're able to do. Samwise and Prince of Kabul, obviously they are expected to win, certainly, but if Ironic Virus and Axemen can take a game off of them, then there's a very good chance of them being in the match in the quarterfinals. Now, a really important fight coming in here. There is enough units out from both players to deal with things, but the skirmishers need to focus on the rods and the Reuter. There's not enough cab out, perhaps, but I really like the position from Samwise and Prince of Kabul. The rods were able to clean up the war wagons, better micro from them, and skirmishers without protection, they're all going to be going down here. That is a really important fight, and it is heavily in favor of Samwise and Prince of Kabul. So, yeah, what a shame for Ironic Virus and Axemen. They had 10 war wagons out. I think they had enough to deal with the cab if they were to focus on them, and the skirmishers focus on the rods, and then after that, perhaps the Reuter. But, yeah, that is all cleaned up. Commanding position from them at this point, 68 to 83 on the eco, and 55 to 77. That was the right time to push as Germans. You could theoretically go for an age 4, a semi-fast industrial or something, but it was the right time to push, I think. If they were able to get some good micro, they could have perhaps taken that fight. That's not what we see, though. We see that Samwise and Prince of Kabul taking that fight. One distinct thing that really separates top players from good players is their ability to micro really well. That's something I've seen more and more in this 2v2 Jackpot tournament, where both teams have equal numbers. Both teams could take a fight, but the higher level players just micro that much better and are able to take games because of it. I can, the chat is not delayed. I can respond to you guys, but it's going to be, instead of me responding to you guys via talking after 2 minutes, and you guys waiting an additional 2 minutes to hear it, I can respond to you guys in chat, and then it's still going to be 2 minutes for you guys to see it on, or, yeah. So, yeah, that is the first game taken by Samwise and Prince of Kabul. Fairly commanding. I like the build orders from all players. As Samwise and Prince of Kabul, you have good options if they FF, and you have good options if you were to rush yourself. So I like the choices of their civs options. But I think Ironic Virus and Axemen played it really well too, for build order at least, for the game plan. But when it came to that fight, just a little bit lacking on the micro. Looking at the resources gathered there, military unit population, villager population. We'll look at the team stats for you guys. The villager population, pretty close, but we do actually see that Ironic Virus and Axemen pretty much had a lead the whole game. As would be kind of expected, something that isn't taken into account there is the banks. Looking at the military population, they had the military population lead there, but they did not push it through to victory with the micro. Resources gathered, you see how important those banks are there. Look at the combat XP real quick for you guys, and then onto the military tab. And there we go. GG. Did somebody say Dops? Yeah, Dops would have been a decent option for sure. We're getting into game number 2 now. Samwise and Prince of Kabul taking game number 1. And we are going to randomize these civs for you guys. The civs in the map. Alright, the map is going to be Pampa Sirius. And then the civs for Ironic and Axemen are going to be Indians and British. Ironic and Axemen have Indians and Brits. And Samwise and Prince of Kabul have Indians and Dutch. The volume is too loud for you. I will try to update that real quick for you. Let me see what it's at. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, it is way too loud. Thanks for pointing that out. I turned it down quite a bit. Yeah, when I reset the computer, a lot of things were reset. I haven't been asked to change the in-game volume yet, so it is changed now. All right, so we have the map and the civs. It is Indians Brits versus Indians and Dutch. This is really close. I think I'd probably give the advantage over to Indians and Dutch, but it's really close. Brits and Dutch are comparable. I would probably say Dutch is slightly better than Brits, but it's really close. Brits have the ability to boom harder, perhaps, not by much. Dutch have arguably better units, though, as the game goes on. Brits, of course, has good options, though, in their units, so we'll see what they do. When it comes to possible unit compositions, we could see something like Gurkha, like H3 on Gurkha, Goons, and Reuter, and then I would probably give the advantage over to the Goons, but it's going to be really close. Reuter, of course, are great themselves. Yeah. So here we go. The match is about to start. I'm glad you like the map picker, Parasep. It is the beta version of it. It is the debut was for this tournament. They are going to have updated an updated map picker where it will have all the maps from RE and EP. You are going to select every single map that you want in it, and the volume, the audio should be updated too. So it's going to be really, really awesome. You can do things like having all the RE standard maps except for Deccan, or you could have select T maps, including a few 1v1 maps that people might like for the tournament. I think it'll be used in future tournaments for sure. It's going to be really, really awesome. Wait, what scared you? I'm guessing the map picker. Sorry. All right, so getting into it, it is Ironic and Virus and Axemen versus Samwise and Prince of Kabul. It is red, Axemen in red as the Indians, with Ironic Virus in blue as the Brits, Samwise in yellow as the Dutch, and Prince of Kabul in orange as the Indians. The map, it basically, there's a lot of llamas on this left-hand side. It's a fairly open map, and one thing that is worth mentioning is there's a decent amount of rushing on this map, although there's a lot of options. Ratings is a real option for sure. We do see that the Indians player from Samwise and Prince of Kabul are probably going to pick up most of the llamas. We'll look at the economic unit so you guys can see that. It is 2 llamas to 8 currently. There is 1, 2, and 3 llamas left to be picked up, but it looks like they're gonna go over to Samwise and Prince of Kabul's team. So big advantage for them right there. This llama may come back, and it was picked back up by Samwise. So it is 11 llamas versus 2, possibly 3 going to be picked up. So big advantage over to them right now. That's going to be a lot more XP for Prince of Kabul as opposed to Axemen. So nicely done from them. Yeah, in 1v1, I would probably prefer Brits over Dutch, but in team games, Dutch are that much stronger. Um, it is close, but I'd say Dutch has a slightly Brit India team up OP. Yeah, Fox and Elephants for the win. I would argue that the team cards from Dutch and India complement each other more with the team infantry HP. But yeah, we'll see what they go for. Definitely, there's some different options on the table. I do kind of expect an aggro from both Indians players, but they could go for Carney. That's of course an option. One thing that is a possibility is some H2 pressure with Zambarak and Skirms. But I don't exactly expect that from Samwise and Prince of Kabul. Based on last game, I think they're just wanting to play it safe. They are wanting to not go all in on a strategy, not playing it very risky. We do see that Prince of Kabul does go in Agra. He does it fairly defensively, kind of going into that same concept of playing it safe, trying to respond to their opponents instead of going all in on a strategy. The wins losses were updated by the time I'm reading this, at least. They're probably just now updating for you. Some more cows picked up. Let's look at the economic units now that we've conceded it all. 11 over to Prince of Kabul and 3 over to Axeman. Also have the 2 cows. That's a huge difference there. That is effectively 13 versus 3. That's crazy. You can see the XP difference it's already displaying. The Indians player is at 2.5 shipments. Kabul is at 2.5 shipments, and Axeman's on 2. So look at some of the decks now. You see Indians players. Let me start with the Brits player. We'll start with the Brits player. That's pretty standard deck. Perhaps slightly boomier than some would choose. It doesn't have the infinite rockets, worth mentioning. It does have a plantation and mill upgrade. Doesn't have Virginia Company, interestingly enough. Looking over at Axeman. His Indians deck has lots of military shipments. It's looking like they may put some early pressure. Looking at the shipments out from Prince of Kabul, more military upgrades and eco upgrades than Axeman has for sure. He doesn't. So Kabul has team HP and a unit HP and attack, while Axeman does not. He does have Urmi cards though. Looking at the Dutch's deck, yep. Alright, so pretty standard. Does have Royal Mint, which is debatable. If you're going lots of Reuter, I think it's good, but otherwise I don't think it's that good. Looking at the strategies out from the players, Prince of Kabul going Good Faith Agreements, second card. That is intriguing. So, Good Faith Agreements. He might be going... Is he building Consulate now? He is. Okay. So, he might send 300 export as his next shipment. And then go with the French and getting 1,500 resources. I don't know if he's going to do that right away. Ottomans, of course, is a great option with the 4 villagers. But if he's going for an FF type of situation here, that could be a real possibility. Alright. Looking around everywhere else. A few Sepoy and Gurkha out. So he's building some Gurkha, and he had some Sepoy pop. Building some units for sure from Ironic Virus and Axeman. Looking at Samwise and Prince of Kabul, they're scouting forward, making sure nothing is incoming. They haven't really made any units though. They're investing that into their economy. Look at the upgrades from the players. Axeman having no upgrades besides what he starts with. We do see Ironic Virus as having several upgrades though. Looking back onto Prince of Kabul having several upgrades, and the villagers out from Samwise only having hunting dogs so far. That's okay. That's kind of what's expected from all these players. Yeah, the llama difference, map knowledge, yep. The Inca's 20% infantry speed, it can be abused. It can definitely be abused. It's not something that is directly OP, but you can use it really, really well to your advantage. Speedy Dops, or as Germany, can be really, really good. It can be also really, really nice as Dutch, making up for the slower units due to the church card. But yeah, 20% infantry speed can be really nice on lots of different types of units. Now there is a forward aggro. Yep. Yeah, so yep, in base aggro help their team Civ Boom. Yeah, exactly. They're just playing it safe. They know they have better PR than their opponents. They're not taking any risks. Perhaps we will at some point see Ironic Virus and Axemen actually rushing really hard in one of these games, and that might surprise Samwise and Prince of Kabul. I'm not sure what they're going to go with yet, though. It does look like we have a unit composition out, and it's actually really, really close at this point. I would give Samwise and Prince of Kabul a definite lead. We do see 81 to 76. The economy is really close, and as the game goes on, if it stays really close, perhaps it's going to be advantage over to Brits due to the ups and the manners coming out. But yeah, we do see some Hussar coming in. They spot the opponents and a little bit of skirmishing going on there. Not a whole lot though. I'm guessing if players are able to get good age timings in, that's going to give them an advantage over the opponents at this point. The militaries are pretty close. Definitely more out for Ironic Virus than everyone else, really. We'll see what they do with it, though. Looking at the resources, Samwise is about to age right now. Prince of Kabul already aging. Good timings out from them. Yeah, the shipment's progression. They're one shipment ahead. It's amazing how much of a difference those livestock do. One thing that's interesting is there is no hunts on this right hand side for them. That is interesting to note. Every player started with 2 mines though, so it's pretty fair when it comes to the map generations. This is the second mine for Samwise, and I believe this is the second mine for Prince of Kabul, too. Getting back to the game, it is 59 versus 50 on the military pop, 83 versus 87. Very close there, but we see that Samwise and Prince of Kabul have the age advantage now. They do not necessarily have map control. Ironic Virus and Axemen have a little bit more map control. We'll see what they're able to do with it, though. I believe this TP is scouted out by Ironic Virus and Axemen. It is, and they're going to stop it from going up, probably. A little bit of fighting over this treasure here, 360 XP. That is going to be really, really nice. I'm not sure who's going to pick that up. There's not a explorer nearby. It looks like India is going to pick it up, so that will be an interesting, an important thing to take into account in the XP advantage. That TP goes down. Samwise, let's see if he is making some units. He is not. He is, making units from the TP line. I'm guessing he's just getting the upgrade for mining. And not coming in yet, but that would be really nice. Could also get the infantry speed upgrade. But the infantry for the upgrade for mining would be really, really nice if he's going Reuter. That would be amazing, actually. A good push coming in from them here. They're both age 3 versus age 2 armies. And it looks like Ironic Virus and Axemen are just pulling back. Axemen's about to age up. Ironic Virus already is. And a little bit of fighting coming on here. The Musketeers versus Skirmishers. I'm not sure I like that so much. That's not, no, don't take that fight. Especially as the aggro's going down. Yeah, looking at it. Yeah, Dutch Alps could be super fast with that, yeah. Yeah, you just like it when players age at the same time. Yeah, I understand that. I think they had a good read on the map, though, on the game. We do see some good raids coming in over here from Ironic Virus. Really nicely done from him. Let's see how many has been picked up so far. That is 5 going down. That's actually really important as Dutch. That's going to severely hamper your food and or wood gathering upgrades. You need to have a good amount of food and wood gathering to complement your banks. So, getting back to the fight here, though. It looks like Ironic Virus are just going to hit age 3 before engaging this. Higher military pop out from Samwise and Prince of Kabul. They do not have defender's advantage, though, and their units are very far away from the fight. A lot of their military is tied up back at home. And so, I think probably when it comes to actual fighting here, that Axeman and Ironic Virus are going to have the defender's advantage, and the military population is going to be really, really close too. Gurkha compared to skirmishers, we'll take a look at them once the upgrade comes in, the age 3 upgrade. He does have the card for them, but does not have the multiplier versus heavy infantry, so that's a bit of a shame. We'll see. He's upgrading them now. I expect them to engage this really, really soon. I like the Musketeers and the Hussar out. In a 2v2, it's really good to mix up your unit composition a little bit. In 3v3, 4v4, especially early, it's usually better to go mostly one type of unit per player. But yeah, looks like the Cav are coming in here. That's not an engagement you want to take. Why are you taking that? You're not fighting with your whole team. I think perhaps they could have done with a little bit better communication. Yeah, that's half of his Cav going down at the very start of the fight. And Musketeers coming in now, but yeah, 1v2 over here. They need to have their armies closer together. Reuter getting a good raid onto Axeman here, but probably only gonna get 2 builds, maybe only 1. Let's see if they're able to get the second one. He does not. When it comes to the fighting here, some Mahout coming in. That is really, really nice. I think they're actually going to take this fight. 2 Falconets coming out. Yeah, they're definitely going to take this fight. Really well done from Ironic Virus and Axeman. They're really, really good job done there. We do see that the Explorers out from Prince of Kabul are forward. And Prince of Kabul also aged, so instead of making more military in age 3, he ages instead. We'll see if that pays off or not. Let's look at his age 4 shipments. Really just the Urumi there. Of course, can get upgrades on units too. A couple more banks coming up for Samwise back at home. If they had chased this, they should have chased this for sure. I'm not sure why they didn't chase this. The Sepoy coming in going to do a lot. The Mahout going down. If they had chased that, I'm pretty sure all those skirmishers would have gone down. Definitely a shame that happened. He did need to pull back though, try to defend the Reuter raid. So well done with the Reuter. A lot of the military pop not protecting the skirmishers, with the Reuter not protecting the skirmishers, but doing good work on the opposite side. We're looking at the economy now as 132 to 107, and then military pop 61 to 56. Also age advantage over to Samwise and Prince of Kabul. The Falconets are really, really nice there though. We'll see. Are the opponents going to fight this? They are. So Samwise and Prince of Kabul are going to fight this. That's an interesting choice. A little bit unexpected. Not a whole lot of units there to defend them. And is he going to make it away? Whoa, oh, that hurts. I thought he might have made it away if he had pulled back completely. But he decided to go back into fire mode and that hurts a lot. Good rating over here from Samwise. The map control is over to Samwise and Prince of Kabul at this point. So nicely done from them. Tiger Claws coming in. That was an age 2 shipment, in fact. Let's take a look at his deck real quick. He opted over spending 500 coin. Or, wait, does it not cost coin on EP? Is that a bug? Go ahead and let me know in chat, guys. Yeah, so looking at the Gurkhas, 151 and 21. Look at the Skirmishers, it is 168 and 21. He does have the team card out from India. and they're slower, of course. The cav coming in on those Gurkha, though, that's a shame for Axeman there. The score-wise, Samwise and Prince of Kabul up for sure. Yeah, that's how you clean up skirmish attack units. Excuse me. Yeah, that's rough. All those Gurkha are going to be cleaned up. The villager's probably going to go down there too. This is a lot of their economy, and the Sepoy up on the right-hand side doing a lot to the villagers out from blue. This is, they may call it here, to be honest. This is really game deciding. Losing that many villagers, having no military population left. After this fight, they're going to have next to nothing. Axeman and Ironic Virus, that is. Yeah. Do have the Honored Sepoy out. You can see how strong those are. 327 HP, 41 attack. Yeah. This is looking really rough for them. The Sentry and the regular pops too. All right. That's gonna inflate the military pop a bit, but yeah, looking really good from Samwise and a Prince of Kabul. It's looking like they've taken this game for sure. Yeah. All right. Looking at everything else. I don't know what to make of. At this point, Samwise and Prince of Kabul are just so far in the lead. I don't know what could be done to stop them. Let me try to think through it logically. Yes, Prince of Kabul has a strong lead on that side. Perhaps Axeman could fight this back a little bit, but really Dutch army is just so strong at this point. The army composition is definitely better for him too. I really like that card, Team Shivaji Tactics. It's only 5% attack and HP, but it affects all military units, so. I see. Thanks, Harrison. Thanks for letting me know. I wasn't aware that that was changed in the Spectator UI. Appreciate that. Alright, yeah. This game's all but over. I don't know what to make of it. Yeah. I don't think there's anything Ironic Virus and Axeman can do. They're perhaps just talking about the next game and trying to get, make a game plan for the next game. But, yeah, Samwise and Prince of Kabul, they're not taking a really strong advantage early. They're just playing it really safe. And if Ironic Virus and Axeman can pick up on that, perhaps they could rush really hard. If they are able to get a good rush in, Samwise and Prince of Kabul have not gone heavy on units early, have not gone... They've gone fairly heavy on economy. Not completely all in on economy. But that game... Well, we'll look at the military pop so you guys can see that. You can see team stats there. They didn't make any units really until 640. And a few of those were Sepoy. So really did not make many units at all. We'll look at the resources gathered. Yeah, we'll look at the individual stats first. You guys can see that there. Military pop. I'm surprised that India actually out-ecoed Dutch. That's really surprising. The XP from the llamas will do that though. It not only gives you more shipments, which is obvious, but it also gives you more villagers, because with every shipment as India you get more villagers, so it really affects your economy a lot. We'll look at the military unit population for each player, and then villager population, and you can see how much of a difference that does with the villagers. They have the same amount of TCs, and yeah, we'll compare the Indians players. They have the same amount of TCs, and basically no idle time from the players either. And it looks like the 4 Ottoman villagers were not sent by either player, but you see by even weren't sent by the players really early. That is 23 versus 20, so 3 villager lead at 6 minutes. That's amazing how much of a difference that makes. We'll look at the shipments for you guys too, so we can see that. Yeah, it's crazy how much of a difference that makes. Llamas are so important as India. Livestock is so important as India. Let's go to the back to resources gathered in team stats. Yeah, that's true, Harrison. That's true. Well, you still can make a game plan, but knowing the llamas were there was really... Axemen did go for a few, but double explorers as India, you could have definitely gotten more. We'll go to the military tab for you guys. And then onto the combat XP. Ironic, very low there. Alright, so that concludes game number 2. We'll get in game number 3 here. Alright. We are going to randomize these maps for you guys. The map and the civs. Here is the map. The map is Nepal. And the civs. Russia. Ironic and Axe. Russia. Russia. And then for Kabul and Samwise. Yeah, he went greedy in H3 while Dutch was covering India. Yeah. He didn't really go greedy so much as he just went to H4. I think it was mostly the sure, aging and when you don't have a whole lot of military is greedy, but greedy is often has a connotation of going hard eco. I don't think it really was super hard eco, in fact. Just the shipments, they make that much of a difference. Alright, so Russia versus Sioux and Germans. Interesting. So this will be an interesting matchup for sure. I think this might be the game that Ironic Virus and Axeman have an opportunity to rush really hard and take a game off of Kabul and Sam. Double Russia, very strong early. They are really good at rushing. Sioux and Germans very good at raiding, but neither have very good infantry in Age 2. Versus Russia, generally a good strategy is to go Cav versus them, just due to their Ruskets being weak and having no other anti-Cav unit. Ruskets aren't even exactly anti-Cav in Age 2. Yeah, the Brit team had less vills than Dutch team. Yeah, they did. Wait, I didn't take a look at that. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. The economy was... no, I'm pretty sure they didn't have less vills most of the time. Yeah, I was just comparing Indians. Yeah, they had pretty close economy most of the time. Yeah. So, double Russia, same civs. It's not as bad as it first seems. Having done some random civs and having several of the same civ on the same team, as long as it's not a civ that has no options early or basically very little options early or very little options late, it can be to your advantage. Double Russia, they could get a really hard rush in. And if they rush really hard versus Sioux in Germany, I think they could actually pull something out here. They could age with 11 or 14 vills and do really hard rush, and they have an option this. The Sioux artwork is amazing. I'm guessing you're talking about the wheel. Yeah, Germans is actually pretty cool too. But, yeah. Hi Cookie, how's it going? ESO is down. Alrighty, so we will get, let me show you guys this, the map picker and the civ picker real quick for you guys. Nation spinner, as he calls it. So yeah, this is pretty awesome here. It's this is the beta version, if you will. It's just the I don't have an option to select the maps right here. It is only the maps in this tournament. He hard coded it that way. Just he was trying to get this out quickly. He's been working on some other stuff. A little bit of a hint is in the name of their website, aoewiki.com. I'll leave it at that for you guys to figure out what's going on. But yeah, there's all the maps here. And here, let me write down the civs real quick, just so that while I remember them, I would hate for it to be I would hate for us to forget them, or me to forget them rather. The map is Nepal, Russia, and then Sioux Germans. All right. Wrote that down. All right. So yeah, you can see all the different maps that are here, and you can see the thumbnails, which is really nice. I like seeing those thumbnails. And then you also see the background of the map is pretty cool too. The background of the map picker. Yeah. So a little bit of a heads up for people. This map picker is going to be available for everyone. Well, it is right now, but it's just really for this tournament. But it's going to be available for everyone, and you're going to be able to choose what maps are on it. I believe all the maps from RE and EP will be on it, so a crazy amount of maps. And you're going to be able to choose which ones you want in it, which ones you want out of it. You could go something like all the RE maps except for Deccan. You could do just your favorite EP maps. You can mix and match. You could go some EP team maps and some RE team maps. But yeah, you're able to do that. I'm guessing they're going to have audio with it too. But it's going to be really cool. Definitely by far the best map randomizer in existence for Age of Empires 3 once that comes out. For the Civ randomizer, this is definitely the best Civ randomizer for the game too. You can see all the different all the different civs on the wheel. Additionally, there is going to be some updates to this wheel where you are going to be able to select how many players you want to roll for, and then it's just going to fast roll each one. It's only going to be one wheel rolling for all of them, but it will fast roll each one. So it's going to be really awesome for that too. It's going to fast roll for each one and keep track of them. So it's going to be really cool. Yeah, we see those two things. Let me get back to the game, see if it is back online. It is. All right. We'll get into this game shortly then. And yeah, here we go. Ruskets are not anti-cav. Ruskets are not anti-cav. Not really. I mean, they are obviously in melee, but they're so weak to cav. They're their best option in H2 versus cav, but they do not fare super well into cav, just to being 20% less attack and HP. They're not a strong option versus cav. They're your best option versus cav, but not a strong option versus cav. I will say the Ulans from Germany, not the best option as cav yourself. Axe Riders are really nice. I don't know if that's what he's going to go for though. Perhaps we'll see something like crossbow and bow riders. I don't exactly expect that though. While that might be their best options versus double Russia, not really. That's not a very good option. Yeah, fast stage 4, axe and kill. Yeah, if they take down the blockhouses, that could be really nice. That could be really nice for sure. I think perhaps 11 Age Up from Axeman and Ironic would be really nice here. Getting the they could do something like what would that be? 66 Strelets and 18 Cossack at 6 minutes 30 seconds. If they do that, they could have a strong opportunity to take the game off of their opponents. We'll see what they do though. Let me grab some water real quick. I'll be back in just a second. Alright, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. Been drinking a lot of water. My throat's been really dry right now for some reason. Ruskets are not anti-cav. Let me touch back on that. Ruskets they are a musket type unit. They are the weakest musket type unit versus cav. And when it comes to anti-cav units in the game, melee infantry and ranged cav are better than muskets versus cav. So they're the weakest of the anti-cav units in the game, at least the ones that you can generically train. You could argue that like Nutka Clubmen are weaker or something, having only something like 20 attack versus cav. But yeah, Sling the Suit, yeah. If they get blockhouse, if he denies blockhouses, that could be really strong. But I don't know if Samwise and Prince are going to go for that. Map Nepal. Observer mode. Yeah, I agree with you. That would be their best option for playing it safe. But I don't know that they're going to do that. All right, we'll see if we'll get the teams out. Otherwise, it's not going to work with observer mode. Yeah, obviously, muskets are somewhat anti-cav, but it's the worst option when available. It's basically the worst anti-cav unit in the game versus cav. I looked down and saw Team 2 Axe, and I was thinking, Sue doesn't have a Team 2 Axe card. It was like, oh wait, what? What am I talking about? All right, so the map is Nepal. We saw this in game number 1. It's a good. I like the map quite a bit. It's probably my favorite map in this map pool. It's definitely up there. Dhaka is a little bit fun to watch too. Lots of different options there. But I like it. I like it on this map. It affords a lot of different options for strategy. And so this is game number 3. The Prince of Kabul and Samwise are up 2-0. And we see that they spawn. Samwise here spawning in the blue as the Germans, and Prince of Kabul spawning in red as the Sioux. We see Axeman here in teal as the Russians, and Ironic Virus in purple as the Russians. So we'll see what the players go for here. I'm really curious. Shall I say the tempo of the game is kind of in the Russians' hands, I think. If they choose to age early and rush hard, they could do really well. If they choose to do a little bit less greedy or less rush-heavy strategy, Prince of Kabul and Samwise, I'm guessing, are going to try to raid pretty hard. I would guess something like a semi-FF from Germany. If we see if the Russians are not rushing hard. And from Sioux, probably just raiding, making sure his teammate can get to 3 safely and then taking it from there would be my guess, based on how they've been playing so far. I have no idea what Axeman and Ironic Virus are going to do. They've been playing pretty decently, Not bad by any means. Obviously, versus the PR of Sam and Prince of Kabul, it's a little bit rough PR gap between the players. But they've been playing pretty decently. Pretty good build orders. And they've played this map already, so they know what to expect. Map picker, very strong coding skills. Yeah, he threw it together in like a day or a few hours actually, but it's going to be a lot better to as it comes on. But alrighty, yeah. So we can start taking a look at the decks from the players. So we have Axeman here, 13 Strelets, 5 Cossacks, 4 Cossacks. Lots of H2 shipment crates. Does have spice trade. Also has a decent amount of military shipments in H3. We'll take a look at Ironic Virus. He does not have the 4 Cossack, but with that exception, their team has all of the military shipments possible in H2. He does have the Church card, interestingly enough. Also has 700 coin, 600 coin instead of having 600 wood. Also very interesting. Look at the Sioux deck. He does have several military shipments. You wouldn't necessarily expect that many in team as Sioux. You don't always see war clubs and Seton bows, but they are definite options. Looking at German's deck, he doesn't have 5 Ulan. That's fine. Arguably the worst military shipment card in H2 as Germans, especially on EP, but he does have the 3 Dops and the 8 crossbow. Looking at the map, no villagers going forward yet from Ironic Virus and Axemen. I say that just as to start going forward. Looking at Germans, and he did go for hunting dogs, interestingly enough. We do have all 4 players aging now, pretty close on the age up times. Look at the economic units, and yeah, both Russia's aged on 14. Prince of Kabul aged on 15. And Samwise aged on 7 villagers, 5 settler wagons. Go back to shipments sent for you guys. Double wood trickle, as is expected from Russia. 2 settler wagons, 3 villagers from Germany and Sioux, as is expected also. These villagers have not been scouted yet. If they're not scouted, that'd be really, really nice. The Sioux Explorer comes over. Is he going to scout that? That's really close. I think he sees it. It's really, really close. Hard to tell, though. We do see that Sioux did not age up fast, so that's worth noting. He may get the 4-axe rider out quickly, but it's not going to be quick enough to deny the blockhouses for sure. They have gone for 2 TPs, though. As is expected, based on their previous games, they're playing it safe. They're not doing a feed and age up fast type of strategy. Axeman and Ironic Virus not playing it super rush heavy as one might expect versus higher ups, and with how Sam and Kabul have been playing it so far. That's respectable, just playing it somewhat safe, if you will. But because of that, we do see that Axeman and Ironic Virus just being outplayed when it comes to micro. And as the game goes on, little advantages adding up here and there to becoming a large advantage. So we do have double blockhouse out from Russia, barracks out from Germany, and a corral out from Sioux. So it's looking like it's going to be crossbow, bow rider, and some Cossack ridges sent. We'll look at units in queue for you guys. Ironic Virus is going muskets. Axemen is going Strelets. So, all military composition right now. Of course, they are shipping the 5 Cossack. It looks like the Cossack from Ironic Virus arrived back at his TC. Forgot to put it forward at his blockhouse. But when it comes to the shipments from Samwise and Prince of Kabul, they send 3 settler wagons and the 5 villagers out from Sioux. We do see that the Ulan are being picked up by Axemen here. Nicely done. That's some free XP for them. He lost almost no HP on that. Cossacks out here, though, they may do a decent amount. I do like the choice to have some pikemen out kind of defending from the expected Cossack raids. Looking over at Sue, has some bow riders out picking off an explorer. The Cossack are coming in now. With the pikes there, though, might not get a whole lot done. He was wanting to go for that villager, but he did not do so. Wise choice there. These Cossack are seen. They're just hovering around. Sue coming in now. Those 5 bow riders may be able to prove to do a whole lot. And he did not target one villager. Ooh, he is going to be able to get one, though. No, he doesn't. Man, that was a shame. He could have microed that a lot better. He definitely would have gotten a villager for sure if he had done so. Do have the infantry coming out from Russia here, though. And there's not enough infantry yet for Sam, but he may do a pop units and from the barracks and from the TC at the same time. If he were to send 8 crossbow right now, that would do a whole lot. And muskets and strelets. They need a few more strelets out, I think. They see all the crossbowmen out here. And the cav going in now. The crossbow are popped. This is going to be cleaned up. They don't necessarily have enough cavalry type units to snare. So Sam and Kabul not having enough to snare. So they may be able to make it out with most of their army. But yeah, little advantage over there to Sam and Kabul currently. Looking around, it does. Let's look at units lost, see if there were any villagers picked up by Sue. He was able to get 1 villager from Axeman and 1 from Ironic, but 2 going down from Sam in the meantime. So really close in that regards. We do see the military, the economy advantage over to Prince of Kabul and Samwise, as is expected at this point in the game, due to just having the villager shipments and Russia not having villager shipments. Military advantage, large lead for Prince of Kabul and Samwise, but Ironic Virus and Axemen, they have not sent the 13 Strelet cards yet. The blockhouses are pretty close together. And they'd be able to have the defender's advantage here and might be able to make something happen. TP being taken down on the right hand side. The axe riders, there's 4 axe riders and a bunch of bow riders. They may be able to clean this up. It's going to be close. If the axe riders go down, Strelets are really good versus the bow riders, but yeah, they're just abandoning that. Not microing it very well. They should definitely at least focus on the axe rider some. Ooh, that hurts to see. So the army from Axeman is going to be taken down. It is worth noting that all of the crossbow only have 5 pike nearby, though. So these Cossack, especially with positioning, a bit of sloppy micro there from Sam. He should be able to get a few crossbow down. The muskets not being targeted by the crossbow yet, as is expected in that situation. But with double blockhouses here and no pikes really to siege, 1 pike to siege. Sorry. Getting a lot of strelets out here could be really, really nice. I'm curious to see what the units in queue are for Samwise and Prince of Kabul. Second barracks coming out, and it's looking like it's going to be only crossbow and only bow riders. In that case, double strelets could do really well here. I'm a little bit surprised they're not taking advantage of the weak ruskets, but they are not doing so. Looking good here. Samwise everywhere? Yeah, Samwise is everywhere. Getting good raids in. We'll look at the units lost, see how many villagers. 4 villagers now lost by Ironic Virus. So a few more for sure. And we see that Samwise and Prince of Kabul meeting up here and taking a really good engagement there. If both of the 13 Strelets were sent at the same time, they might have been able to hold that, but that was not the case. And looks like another villager going down from Axeman here. Some more HP taken off. Is it gonna go down? No, it does not. Really close. Alright, so bow riders and the crossbow being cleaned up by the Strelets, really. Let's look at the military buildings Still no stable out from Samwise. Second corral out from Prince of Kabul. They are based on the villager units. It's not looking like they're gonna go axe quite yet. So sticking with bow rider and crossbow. Some good raids coming in here. One thing that is worth mentioning is Sioux versus no cab units is going to be able to do a lot just with raiding and map pressure using the mobility advantage. It's also worth noting that he is up to age 3, so he may just use that to have stronger bow riders. Could also go rifle riders. Not expected though, not versus what the opponents are going. There's not a whole lot of muskets out, and yeah, they're not going to fare better versus the Strelets and the bow riders. So, yeah, we'll look at units in queue and leave it there just for a bit to see what he goes with in age 3. Sam is aging right now, and neither of the Russians are aging currently. And I want to see what you're going to make, Kabul. No bow riders or rifle riders in queue, or axe riders in queue. Could theoretically go to Shunker Prowlers too, but not expected by any means. Lots of villagers on coin. Does he have... I guess that's because he doesn't have many hunts available to him. Yeah, he did ship the hunts, and he's probably going to shift a lot of his villagers onto those. We'll go back to shipments sent. He is making bow riders. Oh, they call it GG. Alright, 3-0 over to Prince of Kabul and Samwise. I think Erotic Virus and Axemen are coming in with predetermined strategies. Or at least not adjusting. Apparently his Ulans got stuck on a cliff somewhere. I don't see them anywhere. Probably on one of these. That happens sometimes. It's a little bit of buggy coding or whatever you want to call it. Really good KD ratio out from Sam. Versus double Russia, you're going to expect really good KD ratio. Honestly, not that bad KD ratios out from Axemen and Ironic, being that they're Russia. Obviously not ideal, could be a little bit better, but it's being that you're Russia, you have really cheap units, you're going to lose, that's going to be inflated. We can look at the combat stats though. Yeah, you can see it is actually somewhat close. Definitely over advantage to Samwise and Prince of Kabul. That's when there's Russia on the field, this is much more accurate way to see how well they did. One of them climbed 2 levels. Oh, is it on the left-hand side? I'm guessing it's over here. Yeah. All right, getting back to the look at the resources gathered for each player. Oh, I didn't. There we go. Resources gathered for each player. Axemen and Ironic. Ironic just harassed a lot. So really well done from Prince of Kabul to harass their economies that well. Look at the military unit population for you guys. And then over to villager population. Ooh, that's a lot of idle TC time. That's rough. We'll look at the team stats for you guys. Military unit population. And then over to resources gathered. Alright, we're going to get in game number 3 here. Yeah, I want one series that isn't a 5-0. In quarterfinals, I expect there to be more than one that isn't a 5-0. A lot of the teams are really good. While it was random, having the different matchups in the play-ins, it is interesting that none of the weaker teams were paired up against each other. So it did mean that there is going to be more 5-0s. It does mean that the quarterfinals, the teams that go into quarterfinals, they're going to be more accurately the top teams. So I do appreciate that. In quarterfinals, we should have some really, really good matches. There was one match that what was it? It was Kanisi, Tit, and Timijin versus Jiwei and Soldier. And I was expecting that to be a little bit closer, but it was not. Getting over to the map. The map is Fertile Crescent. And we'll go with the Civs. Ottomans, Ironic, Axe, Auto, Chinese. This is game number 4. They have 1 re-host left for their team. Samwise and Prince of Kabul have 2 left. Indians and Sam Kabul, Indians, Aztec. All right. We'll get back to... Oh, I didn't show that. Sorry. I can just show you guys to confirm that I'm not being silly or whatever. Rigging anything. Should have been way more aggressive FP. Yeah, perhaps. It would have been nice to have seen them be a little bit more aggressive. They did try to get units out pretty quickly, but they... all 4 of them are playing somewhat passive, somewhat safe. And when you're playing against higher PR, if you just do the same game, if you have the same concept of how you should play the game, and you don't change it up, such as rushing hard or booming hard, you're probably just going to fall behind. You need to change it up, make it maybe a little more chaotic for the opponent, something like that. Yeah, I do want 1 series that isn't 5-0 Harrison, but in the quarterfinals, there should be a lot of games that are a lot closer. Hey, hi, Matthew. How's it going? For anyone curious, there is a delay in the game. A 2-minute delay on the stream, I mean. Yeah. Think rushing hard is the only chance to overcome a big PR gap? Yeah, rushing hard or booming hard, both are options. And in a series of 5 games, you can play on what your opponents expect. So if you rush really hard one game, they might overcompensate in the next game, and then you could boom really hard and get an advantage that way. But yeah, I agree. Changing it up is definitely the best option. So the Indians and Aztecs, one thing that's worth mentioning, while they have pretty decent infantry in H2, in the mace from the Aztecs, Puma, good anti-cav, but not... the mace are their best unit in team, really. And India has Gurkha and Sepoy, both really good units early. They don't have amazing cav. So are Coyote Runner. They're decent. They're not top tier though. And if you have good anti-cav units out as Ottoman or China, you'll be able to deal with that. So if they go something, it'd be really interesting if we see Keshik and Pike out from China, or maybe an FF. An FF would be pretty nice. Versus Sam and Kabul. If Ironic Virus and Axemen are playing it smart and noticing the last matches, they'll notice that Sam and Kabul are just playing it safe every game. And if they're playing it safe, one option here would be to do a double FF. And while it's not usually that good, based on... I wouldn't normally suggest going an FF. You need to pull out something that's going to surprise your opponent. And if you do double FF, I think that would be pretty surprising. Versus Sam and Kabul and how they've been playing, they've been going more economic early and then making more units with their better eco. So a double FF could be really nice. Ottomans and Chinese, both excellent when it comes to FF. We'll see if Samwise and Prince of Kabul make enough units to dissuade Ironic and Axe from going FF, though. I'm not sure what they're going to do. All right, let's get the game going. I think they're just talking about it and trying to figure out what they can possibly do to take a game off the opponents.
Are you ready?
I can appreciate that sitting back a little bit and trying to get a bigger picture of this. Get another picture of get a bigger picture of the game and what they can possibly do to win. Ironic and Axe, I think perhaps at this point, they probably feel pretty discouraged, which that's to be expected. You're playing against players that are really, really good, and you're down 3-0 in a play all 5. But if they are able to pull themselves together, reset a little bit, and figure out what they can possibly do to win, they're going to need to go all in on one strategy, I think, and just make it work. And if they do, I think they have a chance. In this game, an FF from Ottomans and China could be really strong. Aztec Eco takes a bit to get off the ground. They're usually in H2 a bit longer. India, they can their FF is really strong, but or even a semi fast fortress. If it's an aggro out, a defensive aggro, that just plays into Ironic and Axe's hands more. We'll see what they do, but if I was here in Ironic and Axeman's shoes, I would probably tentatively plan to double FF. I certainly would want China to FF. Ottoman isn't. They have really good units in H2. China doesn't. So as Ottomans, I would be scouting expecting to see a defensive aggro. If you see a defensive aggro, then I would try to FF as Ottomans here. But we'll see what they do. Yeah. This is game number 4 of the play-in matches for the 2v2 Jackpot tournament. It is 3-0. This is game number 4 of the play-in match between Ironic Virus Axeman versus Samwise and Prince of Kabul. I do expect Samwise and Prince of Kabul to take all 5 games, but if Ironic and Axe are able to take even a single game off of the opponents, they are going to make it into quarterfinals. So we'll see what they're able to do. If they are able to pull off something nice, it'd be really good to see. We could also see, I don't know if they're willing to play this risky, but China could feed Ottomans into fast revolt. That is an option. We saw that in a previous game. It was Japan Blamer and Clavier that were playing, and they did that versus their opponents. I believe it was Viney Thunder and Matt Moy. So we've seen it in this tournament already. We'll see if they do something like that, though. It is a wood start, so that's really good to see. And that's gonna be really, really nice for China. It's okay for Ottomans. It's not amazing. Getting a Mosque out and a more XP trickle is really nice, though. For India, that is going to help them age up significantly faster. For Aztecs, it's not as good as it could be, because you could build a market, and if you get some treasures, it allows you to get some nice ups. But it doesn't do a whole lot outside of that. And he's not even using his 100 wood right now. So definitely I think that's better out for Ottoman and China, a wood start, than for India and Aztec. But every civ appreciates extra wood at the beginning. It is TP map, yep. Yeah, double FF suggestion is a good one. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily suggest a double FF in a 2v2. It's not something I usually suggest, but you got to pull something out of the box. You got to pull something that's going to surprise your opponent. And that, I think, is a good option. Ottoman in China, top tier FF civs. And if you're able to pull it off, have a really good timing versus your opponents, it could be really nice. Yeah, we'll see what they go with, though. Alright, so this is game number 4 of the play-in match. This is the last scheduled play-in match for the 2v2 Jackpot tournament. If it goes 5-0, we may have some tiebreaker matches. We may just talk to the teams and they decide that the last remaining high-level team just makes it into quarterfinals. We'll see what they go with. But it is Samwise and Prince of Kabul versus Axeman and Ironic Virus. It is Kabul in orange as the Aztecs, Samwise in yellow as India, Ironic Virus in blue as Ottomans, and Axemen in teal as Chinese. Teams should have a name. I agree with you, Pink Fun. I completely agree. I asked all the teams to create a name, but they did not do so. Question for you guys. Would you guys like it if I made team names for the players? In the first tournament, it was the 3v3 Loyal tournament. I just went with generic AoE 3 pet names for the teams that did not pick a name. So I could do something along those lines in the future if you guys would like. Go ahead and respond and let me know. Looking at the map, we do have decks already picked. We see the deck out from Ironic Virus. He has an interesting deck. It has no crates in Age 3. Does not have the Artillery Attack card either. Looking at China deck, this is very likely FF, but it definitely could do some H2 aggression. If you're going to be fighting in H2 a lot, I would expect to have 600 wood. And also, having only one H1 card, you can save 2 cards for H2. As China, you tend to have almost a second card available as soon as you hit H2. Looking at India, it is pretty standard deck out from him. This is different than the India that we saw from them previously. This has the 10 Urumi with a Mansabdar Urumi instead of the 9 Urumi Infinite Shipment. I think that's probably a bit of a mistake, but, you know, as you will. Looking at Kabul's deck, this has a decent amount of military shipments H2. So we may see, yeah, so it's actually a pretty forward aggro. So they are recognizing that the opponents could go for a FF, and it looks like Ironic Virus has forward base villagers here. He's going with the barracks, alright. And we see that Axeman is aging. Definitely going to be the last one to age up. Although India, it's going to be about the same age up time as India. India only has 1 villager on it. China has 3 villagers on it. We do see that China went for double village instead of a TP and a village. I think a TP and village is better. But certainly if you're doing a hard rush, double village makes some sense. That means you don't have to build your second village as early. So that's worth mentioning. How big is the PR difference? It is 26 and 28 for Axeman and Ironic Virus. And I don't remember the exact PR of Samwise and Prince of Kabul, but they're about 40 each. So, yeah. Budgie Smugglers. Did they come up with that name? Oh, no, no, I see. Yeah. Risks are needed this series. 3-0 down doesn't leave much point in playing safe. I completely agree with you, Spider. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. A little bit of fire, aggro going on. I do like the choice to do barracks, but these military buildings are out too late for Ironic and Axe. Just way too late. If you're gonna age up that late as China, you gotta FB in home or something. I do like the Janissaries out, but the Mace are just really, really nice versus that. They need to focus on the villagers here. They're going to get that War Academy up. They could have denied that. Prince of Kabul could have denied that for sure. He does not, though. And, yeah. Looking at the shipment sent, Axeman has not shipped a shipment yet in H2, but Crossbowmen could come out here. We do see that Samwise went with both Wood Trickles first. Yeah, those Janissaries being a little bit caught out. I do like the Step Riders. They could do really, really well versus the Mace. Coyotes do pretty decent versus them, though, too. You see how little damage the Step does to the Coyote. And it looks like it's a 1v2 kind of here, honestly. Some Sepoy coming forward from Samwise, but, yeah. All the Coyote cleaned up. The Steps are onto the Mace now. Minutemen called by Ironic. No Minutemen yet from Axeman. Yeah, neither did an FF. I think with how Kabul was playing, I think it was smart for him to put some early aggression, change it up some. We do see that Prince of Kabul and Sandwise are the ones changing it up instead of Ironic and Axeman. So, yeah, Coyote's into the Abyss. It's kind of GG already at this point. Axeman just aged too slow as China there. We do see the economic difference, 55 to 43 already. 38 to 12, it was 38 to 12 with the military difference. Just looking really rough for them. Perhaps Axeman doesn't play China. I'm actually almost positive he does not play China much. So, yeah, we'll see what they go with. But Villagers going down now. This was just a whooping. Basically a 1v2. I believe that's 5 Sepoy and 5 Gurkha. Okay, some more Gurkha come now, but yeah, it's... I think Axeman pretty much already said, alright, well, it's over. He resigns. Last game, I think they're just... They feel like they have no chance whatsoever. I think they do have a chance, or they did have a chance, but they need to play really risky. As captains, especially majors, it's never over till the large lady sings, shall we say? It's never over, especially because there is definitely a big PR difference between 40 and 32, but the difference between 40 and 32 is not as much between 30 and 22, in my opinion. The skill difference is fairly close when it comes to a player that's PR 40 compared to PR 32, while compared to PR 30 versus PR 22 is just extremely different. So that's game number 4. Quite a stomping there. That was the biggest stomping of the game of the match so far. We'll get into game number 5 for you guys. Sorry I didn't look up post game stats, but pretty expected. Yeah, Prince wins this one alone. Yeah, I would have. Yeah. Yeah, first round's going to be stomps. Yep. Yeah, I agree. I agree with Wicked Cossack for sure. The first round, it is going to be some stomps, but quarterfinals should be really close for sure. Good practice for the teams that don't make it. Yeah, up until this point, most every match every match has gone 5-0, but the team that has the lower level players, a lot of them have messaged me after and said, "Hey, thanks for letting me play. I just really enjoyed it. It was a stomping, but I just enjoyed playing in a tournament setting, and that's what I wanted. I wanted higher ups to be able to play. Up until this point, we haven't really had really professional players playing a whole lot in the tournaments that I've been hosting. There's been a few, but not a whole lot of them. And I haven't opened it up to anyone below second lieutenant at all. So I wanted just anyone to be able to sign up. And I had been messaged by several lower level players over the past tournaments asking me to just allow them to sign up for a tournament. So that's what happened, and a lot of them appreciated it. So yeah. It should be harder to surprise in a 2v2 than a 1v1. Yeah, perhaps. There's more scouting on the map. The map is not as big. So in a the map is relatively just about the same size. In a 2v2, I will say this: in 1v1, there's more expected play because you see a lot more 1v1 matches than 2v2. So 2v2, the meta isn't as defined, if you will. But yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Synergy is really important. Yeah, same level of unit control, which is so important. Exactly what Harrison was saying. Yeah, as we saw, All right, well, we're going to go with the random civs for them real quick. As we saw in some of the previous matches, there was some really good, even previous games, the first couple games of this match, we saw that there was good build orders, good macro from the lower level team, if you will. But just the micro of the higher level players is just crazy. It allows them to have a decided advantage in almost any fight. All right, the map is Manchuria. This is for Ironic and Axe. Wow, that's really loud. Let me see. Spanish. How loud is that? Okay, that's really loud. All right, I'm gonna turn that down a bit. Spanish, Dutch, Ironic, Axe, and let me just for this. I'm gonna turn it down just a bit real quick for you guys. Yeah, a little bit less harmful to the ears. Euro and Japan. Sam, Kabul, Euro, Japan. All right, so by the way, thanks a lot for the follow. I appreciate you a lot, Alexi. Appreciate it a lot. Before I saw Sam's and Kabul's civs, I was thinking that Ironic Virus and Axeman maybe are going to re, just because they were really wanting to get France. And they do re, but versus Euro and Japan, I don't think there's a whole lot of synergy between those two civs. So I'm not sure I would have re, but they do so. So we're going to go with the map first. Map Fertile Crescent. And the civs for Ironic and Axe. French. They're going to be happy with that. French Sioux. French, Sioux, Ironic, Axe. And then Dutch and Sioux. Dutch, Sioux, Sam, Kabul. All right. So there are no team rehosts left for Ironic Virus and Axemen. If Sam and Kabul wanted to, they would be able to re. I will say that Ironic Virus and Axemen, both of their most played civs by far is French. I forget which one it was. I think it's Axemen. When in the 3v3 jailed tournament, we were playing against them. My team was playing against them. And so we did some research on what civs they like to play and stuff. Axemen, I believe it's one of the two, but I'm pretty sure it was Axemen, had roughly around 350 French games played, something around 50 German games played, and then had less than 15 with every other civ. So Ironic Virus also, well, the other one of the two, played a lot of France, more than the other player, but he had played other civs a little bit more. And Kabul re-rolls. All right, so here we go. One more re-roll. Map Manchuria. And the civs now for Ironic and Axe. Indians. French. And for Sam and Kabul, yeah, team game strats have more surprise potential. Yeah, if you have a lot of synergy and you work out some lame strategies, it is definitely possible to surprise your opponents. One thing I will say is that most pro or top level players, they kind of stick to the meta pretty close. There's only a couple that kind of go outside of the meta, and if you come up with some really crazy lame strats that work really well, then you can surprise them, because I am guessing that Sam and Kabul are not very familiar with feed strategies. They may not be very familiar with other really lame strategies. They are primarily 1v1 players, not obviously not bad in team, but it could be interesting to see for sure. I will say that Ironic and Axe are probably pretty happy with these civs. French is definitely a civ that they're really happy with. Indians, they are at least somewhat familiar with it. Sam on Japan. Japan is a civilization that snowballs hard. If you don't do damage to them early, if you don't disrupt their boom, the game goes completely out of control in their favor. But early game, they are not the strongest civ. Their boom is, especially on EP, their boom's even stronger than RE. But when it comes to their military units and whatnot, they're kind of weak H2, and they incrementally get stronger compared to other civilizations. So Japan is Ironic Virus and Axeman could do some good pressure in H2. Kabul, we saw his last game. He played really well as Aztec, put a lot of pressure on the opponents, basically 1v2. We'll see if he does something along those same lines. It could be worth having one of them go water. India also is pretty good at water. France, not so much. They are a little bit below average when it comes to water. They don't have, I don't believe they have schooners, which if you're going to be booming on water isn't a must on EP. With your fishing boats costing 70 wood base and schooners only making it 20 wood cheaper. But schooners makes them train a lot faster. So we'll see what they go with. But yeah, the map is Manchuria. It's a very, it has a lot of different elements to the map. It's pretty open. Hey, Fair, how's it going? All right, so this is the last game of the match between Ironic Virus, Axeman, and Samwise, Prince of Kabul. So we'll see what happens here. It is 4-0 in favor of Samwise and Prince of Kabul. I don't know if they're going to take every single, if they're going to take this last game. It is expected. They are a lot stronger, but the underdogs, Ironic Virus and Axeman, have been showing pretty good build orders. Perhaps not the best micro, as is expected, versus a lot higher level PR players. But they have been playing somewhat safe, and Prince of Kabul and Samwise have also been playing safe. And when you're playing against opponents that are a lot stronger than you and are playing the same strategy as you, playing it safe, not playing it very risky, it's just going to be, it's almost always going to go in favor of the opponent. So we'll see what happens here. This map has an element of sea. There is 6 whales in it on a 2v2. There is the TP line can spawn behind the teams or between the teams, and in this case it spawns between the teams. There are livestock on the map. There's several yaks, and there's also not a whole lot of mines. There is, each player starts in this case. There are different spawn options, but in this case, 2 silver mines for each player, and no mines in the back. There is silver mines that spawned off to the sides, and there's a couple gold mines in the middle. 3 gold mines, in fact. So when it comes down to it, there is really just basically 5 to 6 mines that are basically safe, and that's it on your side. The middle mines are, you have to have map control basically to use them. We have seen some games on this map that are just so in favor of, or not, sorry. We've seen some games on this map where come to the end of the game, villagers are gathering from the same mine from opposite teams, and they're just desperate to get any resources that they can. So we'll see what happens here. I am curious what the players are going to pick up when it comes to decks. We'll start looking at that. We do see the deck out from Japan. 3 fishing boats. Excellent card. First card to send in Age 1 as Japan. He does have a bit of a water deck. It's a pretty interesting deck in all reality, but a bit of a water deck. We'll see Prince of Kabul's deck here. He does have Team Cheap fishing boats, as is only a deck that affects water, directly affects water. So I like that choice. It's going to allow Japan to boom really hard. Japan can already boom really hard on land, but if you go sea also, it basically allows you to. I like the choice of Japan going sea. Instead of booming only on land and not having it, just ignoring sea, it allows you to deal with sea some, and then also get even a stronger boom out if they decide to do so. Looking at France's deck here, both 700 food and 600 food. That is quite surprising. And looking like going to be some early aggression from them. And looking at Axeman's deck here, it's, I believe, the same deck that he had in the previous game on Pampas Sierras. Does have 700 food, 600 coin, 600 wood. Has the camel cards, interestingly enough. Perhaps it's just a standard deck that he uses. Alright, so let's see what's happening here. We see the first card out from Samwise is actually the dog, surprisingly enough. How many villagers is he aging up with? Just 1 villager. India is aging now with an aggro, 1 villager forward. Aztec up with a market, aging to 2 and builds a market in transition. That's totally fine. He also has a TP. Let's look at the treasures real quick. Prince of Kabul got an 85 wood treasure. So he probably built the TP, gathered 15 extra wood if it was a wood start. My apologies on not noticing that earlier. Yeah, it looks like he's trying to build shrines to keep an eye on the water. The opponents don't have water decks, though. So, no water decks out from them. And if Axeman and Ironic Virus don't put pressure early, this could be over for Samwise and Prince of Kabul. I mean, sorry. This could be over for Axeman and Ironic Virus. We'll see what they do, though. I'm glad you like me as a streamer, Fair. Best streamer in this community. You might be just saying the jail community I'm the best streamer, which would be kind of ironic. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. We see Japan is already age 2. He is not building any military building yet. You do have a double war hut age up from Prince of Kabul. All right, so that's different than the last game. Last game he built his war hut with 3 forward villagers. This game, double war hut age up. It's looking like he's going to try to defend on land while Samwise just goes hard on sea. So a little bit, while it is somewhat of a safe approach from their team as a whole, it's definitely different than what they've done in previous games. I suppose in the last game was the most similar game with Samwise as India booming a little bit harder, going double wood trickle as India. But in this game, it's him going C this time as Japan. Some raiding cav coming around versus Japan. You're not really expected to pick up any villagers. It is a barracks going down now. I like that position of barracks. It just basically denies the ability. Oh, it looks like a villager may go down here though. One more hit. Oh, it does not get it. That was really, really close. I would not suggest raiding Japan. Raiding Aztec is a lot more effective with cav. There's a good unit mass coming forward, though, from Axemen. We'll see what they do with it. There is Puma out on to Japan right now. His low villager is somewhat unprotected. The Puma get in onto the cav, kill 1 cav immediately. And it's looking rough for Axemen and Ironic. But there's no military units out for Samwise. So perhaps they're able to do something here. That's a really low HP villager. Try to keep an eye on that. And some some cav get picked off there, and another one gets snared. That's a lot of Sepoy out. Where, okay, yeah. Either fight or, yeah, they should really be fighting. That's not enough mace out yet. 700 wood just sent in by Prince of Kabul. He sent 3 bills, Team Cheap Fishing Boats as a second card, Team 3 bills, 10 mace, and then 700 wood. So very, very strong economic approach early. With the TP and the XP Fire Dance, that just allows you an ability to get so much XP out. I want to take a look at the Yaks real quick and see how many each player has. 12 out for Axeman and only 10 for Samurai. So they actually did really good early, picking up more than his opponents. It looks like Iraq and Axemen are shifting their approach over to Aztecs now. And Aztecs, I think, can see the army. Yeah, he can. And he's going to be trying to engage this here. See what happens with it. They needed to do more damage early, I think. That's a lot of Puma out. I think that might be a bit of a mistake. If they are able to push soon, though, that is a lot of siege damage. There is pure cav coming out from France. So all those mace will be safe. Maybe it's not a mistake. It definitely means that your teammate doesn't have to go into as many Ashy or the like. So maybe it's the perfect amount, really. Let's look at the economy real quick. See how many fishing boats Japan is on. He's on 18 fishing boats. He has only 2 docks up. But yeah, really, really strong out from him currently. The economy difference is pretty big at the moment, 88 to 68. Military difference is 64 to 49. Really, their window to do damage has kind of already passed, I think. They needed to do it really early. They had the larger army there. If they had microed it a bit better, perhaps came between the players first, and then they attacked either side. The players, Samwise and Prince of Kabul, would be separated. Their armies would be separated. I do like that he picked off the weak villager, though. Really well done from Ironic, paying attention to the HP bars of the villagers, and does a really, really good job there. There's a large cav mass out. That's a lot of Puma. And let's see what happens here. Ashy coming forward. They are engaging the Pumas. That's going to be really, really rough. Yeah, so many cav going down there. And the Puma are pretty much all down. Pretty good micro from Axeman, killing all of the Puma off. And that is going to be a cleanup of all the mace and the Puma. But there's not many units left for Ironic Virus and Axeman. So really well done from both teams. But Axeman and Ironic, their window of opportunity has kind of already passed. They did really, really well there. Got a lot of damage down. And they did pretty well in that fight. But I think this game is kind of decided at this point. 107 to 77. Last we checked, they were up 20 bills over their opponents, Samwise and Prince of Kabul, that is. But now it's over 30. So the economic lead is just snowballing out of control. Military lead still in favor of Prince of Kabul and Samwise. Yeah, it's looking rough for sure. Villagers forward from Axeman, pulling back now. And yeah, looking rough from them. I'm glad you guys like the quality of the AoE streamer spider. Yeah, we try really, really hard. We try really hard. Try to keep it entertaining. Try to constantly be informing you guys of everything that's happening. Yeah, we try. 10 Tiger Claws just arrives. 10 Tiger Claws, so we'll show you guys this here real quick. Tiger Claws have a good multiplier versus infantry. That is basically light infantry, skirmisher type units, but very weak versus heavy infantry. A negative multiplier, in fact, versus them. They have 150 HP, 20 siege attack. They're a decent unit, but they're really, really only good versus skirmisher type units. They do really well versus them, but that's about it. So all those Ashy there, they're gonna be able to defend all the mace and the Yumi. We look at the eco difference. It's a 40 eco difference currently, 92 versus 36 on the military. Looking really, really strong from Samwise and Kabul. I think they're going to take this game for sure. Just shows the passion of the fan base. Yeah, we try. We try hard. We are tryhards when it comes to streaming. Yeah, the hero from Japan goes down, but a few units come down from Axemen. Double stable out. He's trying to get raids on. If he is able to get like 20 villagers now, that could make a big difference, but not looking like he's going to do it. He does hit age 3 just now. Samwise is age 3 himself. But yeah, just really, really good mass out from Samwise and Prince of Kabul. It is 25 military popped 117. I can respect trying to just, you know, make the most of your last option to make it into quarterfinals with taking a win in this game, or a win of a game in this match. But yeah, I think it's pretty much over. We do see Japan going age 4. I think when he hits age 4, it might we might see Ironic and Axeman just calling it. It's crazy how much of a difference there is in the military population and economic population even at this point. But yeah, Shrines out. They are doing a good job denying natural resources out from Axeman. He does not have any of his villagers gathering from hunts outside of this one Sero. I guess that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, onto a lot of wood. Does have these musk deer that he can pick up. Really big infantry mass. One thing that's worth mentioning is there's no cavalry type unit out from Samwise and Prince of Kabul. I don't think you need it at this point, but if you had some cavalry, it would. The fact that Ironic Virus and Axemen do theoretically have the mobility advantage. If, for whatever reason, Samwise and Prince of Kabul were to sit back a little bit here, it allows some avenues to do something. You at least can run away from opponents. And they pull back from the Falconets there. Looking at the shipments available, Japan could send the 4 flaming arrows. Interestingly enough, he does not have 2 flaming arrows in age 3. But he does have the... Wait, let's look at his deck real quick there. He has... This is a really interesting card to have. Basically, Samurai, Daimyo, and Shogun have more attack and HP. But if he only has 1 Shogun, he of course can age up to 4 with the Shogunate and get an extra Daimyo. But he doesn't have Samurai cards. That's an interesting card to have in that deck. I would perhaps prefer the 2 flaming arrows, but we do see Japan pushing in here. It is Honored Ashy. Yumi Archers unupgraded, but just a couple of them. Those Ashy are going to do a lot. I'm guessing he's going to be sending the flaming arrows right now, or very, very soon. And it's just a cleanup. It is H2, Sepoy, and Gurkha versus the Honored Ashy. Yeah, just really, really rough. We do see the French CDB without greatcoats fighting some of the Ashy. But, yeah. Looking at Kabul's army, lots of Puma there. He is aging right now, aging fast to 3. And Axeman's army just being overwhelmed. One thing that's really worth noting, we'll look at units lost real quick. It was only 1 villager lost by Samwise and Prince of Kabul, while Ironic was trying to raid the whole time. Really well done from Sam and Kabul to keep that from snowballing out of control. What happens if all games end 5-0? I will talk with the teams. There's a few options. We will either do some... There's a few options. It's either going to be a... GG is called. Yeah. There's a few options. Every team has gone 5-0 in the play-in so far. We could either do tiebreakers. We could talk with the tournament committee and just and decide which team goes to which team makes it out. There is one team, Give You Anxiety and Soldier, that is decidedly stronger than all the other teams. We could also talk with the teams themselves and ask them if it's okay that Give You Anxiety and Soldier just make it out instead of them playing some more one-sided matches. I will say that there's a couple of teams that forfeited some of the matches, forfeited some of the games in the matches, rather. 2 teams played and they went 3-0, or 0-3 rather, and then just forfeited the last 2 games. And if that is what happens, I don't think I'm gonna include them in the play-in matches. Yeah, we'll look at the post-game stats for you guys. It is you see the military tab there. Wow, look at that. Units killed 130 versus 38. We'll look at the experience. You can see how lopsided that is too. We'll look at the resources gathered. That's insane. The military unit population, villager population. Look at the team stats for you guys real quick, and then I'm going to look at the score difference. Look at the military pop difference. We do see ironic virus. About right here is when they pushed in. Maybe it was about right here. If they were to push in really hard right here, I think that was their best option for doing damage. We'll look at resources gathered as a team, and then I want to look at the scores. Scores as a team. Up until 10 minutes, it was pretty close, but then it snowballed out of control. You can see the score of Samwise just absolutely insane. Prince of Kabul's, he's a great player, and in that game, his job was to just protect his opponent while his opponent boomed.